Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It has now been proven that Quran is the only pure and last book of our Creator, Allah. It was a calm evening. The golden glow of the setting sun spilled across the courtyard. Birds chirped softly as a gentle breeze rustled through the trees. Father and son were sitting together on the porch enjoying the peaceful air. Hamza, a curious boy of about 10, was deep in thought, turning a small stone in his hand. Hamza's question. Hamza looked up at his father. "Father," he said slowly, "I want to convince my non-Muslim friends, Hindus, Christians, and Jews, that the Quran is truly the last and unchanged book of our Creator, Allah. But they ask me, how do you know the Quran is really from our Creator? We also have our own books and the Bible, the Torah, the Vedas." Then I don't know how to answer. "Can you help me explain this to them?" The father smiled warmly and placed his hand on Hamza's shoulder. The father's reply. "My dear son," he began gently, "this is an excellent question, one every believer should understand clearly. Yes, Allah sent divine books to earlier prophets before Prophet Muhammad, but over time people changed those scriptures, sometimes by mistake, sometimes on purpose. And now what we have left are not the original words Allah revealed. Let me explain to you how these books exist today. Hindu scriptures. Among Hindus, the father said, the oldest and most important are the 4 Vedas. 1. Rig Veda, hymns and praises to their deities. 2. Yajur Veda, rituals and sacrifices. 3. Samaveda, songs and chants, or Atharva Veda, daily prayers, charms, and healing words. Then there are hundreds of other texts, the Upanishads, Puranas, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and the Bhagavad Gita. But none of these have a single unchanged original copy. Over time, many versions appeared, written by different people. Even Hindu scholars agree that the Vedas have been modified, recompiled, and translated in many ways. Christian scriptures. Now about the Christians, the father continued. They follow the Bible, which has 2 main parts. 1. The Old Testament, similar to the Jewish Torah. The New Testament, about Prophet Isa, Jesus. But there isn't one single Bible. There are many versions. The Protestant Bible has 66 books. The Catholic Bible has 73 books. The Orthodox Bible has up to 81 books. Each version has differences in verses, chapters, and meanings. And since it was copied by hand for centuries, many changes entered. Some small, some large. That's why you hear about the King James Version, New International Version, Good News Bible, and more, all translated and edited differently. The Bible was originally a message from Allah, but the original Injil, the gospel revealed to Prophet Isa, no longer exists in its pure form. Jewish scriptures. Hamza listened carefully as his father continued. The Jewish people follow the Tanakh, which includes the Torah, law given to Prophet Musa, Moses, Nevi'im, books of the prophets, and Ketuvim, writings like Psalms. The Torah was indeed a book of Allah, but over time parts were lost or rewritten. Different Jewish groups, Orthodox, Conservative, Reform, even follow slightly different versions. So my son, what remains today is not the original Torah revealed to Prophet Musa. The father leaned closer and said gently, "My son, most of the time when I speak to my non-Muslim friends, they say, Fao, we only translated the Bible into simple language, that's why we have many versions. But you must be ready to reply wisely. Tell them if someone keeps changing the original words of Allah, how can we still trust that message as divine? Shaitan, Satan, always tries to mislead people away from the worship of Allah. He doesn't want us to reach paradise, so he deceives humanity by altering the truth, even by changing Allah's words. If the scholars of earlier scriptures intended to translate Allah's previous books, then their first responsibility should have been to preserve the original text exactly as it was revealed. Translating the message is acceptable, but altering or replacing the original wording is not. Unfortunately, the original manuscripts were not preserved, and instead people continued to produce new copies. New editions appeared with different content, and the originals never survived. The pure, unaltered words of Allah were not safeguarded, which opened the door for distortion and confusion. A result of Shaitan's goal is to divert people from the worship of Allah, so he influences humans to alter divine guidance. This is why those scriptures ended up with many versions, different numbers of books, and contradictions. In contrast, Allah himself protected the Quran. Allah promised, Indeed, we have sent down the reminder, and we will surely guard it. Quran 15:9. So even if people attempt to change it, millions memorize it, manuscripts from every century match, and any mistake is immediately detected. This divine protection prevents Shaitan's tricks from altering Allah's final message. Let me explain this with an example. Imagine your friend sends you some money through a stranger in an envelope, but you don't know how much your friend actually sent. Would you simply accept it without asking or counting? What if your friend sent you $300, but the stranger secretly took $100 and gave you only $200? You would surely count it and confirm with your friend before trusting that person, right? In the same way, this matter is far more serious. It concerns our eternal life after death. We must think carefully and choose wisely. On one side, there are many books that have been copied, translated, and altered over time. On the other side, there is one divine book, the Quran, preserved perfectly by Allah Himself, protected from Shaitan's manipulation. It remains unchanged, a pure message from our Creator. The Quran, the final and preserved revelation. Hamza thought for a moment. So Baba, if all those books were changed, how is the Quran different? His father smiled. That's the beauty and miracle of the Quran. When Allah revealed it to our Prophet Muhammad, He promised to guard it Himself. Indeed, it is we who sent down the Quran, and indeed we will be its guardian. Surah Al-Hijr Bismillah. Thousands of companions memorized the Quran word for word during the Prophet An's lifetime. It was also written down under his supervision and later compiled perfectly under Caliph Abu Bakr and Uthman, R.A. Since then, more than 400 years ago, every Muslim generation has memorized and recited it exactly the same. No change in any word, letter, or sound. The Quran today is identical in every country, every mosque, and every language of recitation. This preservation itself is a living miracle. Allah's challenge to humanity.